Hey ladies and gentlemen, Simon here, and I'm back with another episode of The God of High School to react to. This is episode number 8, and last episode, well, it ended with something we're quite familiar with, one of the group getting involved in someone else's fight because they were being a massive twat. Apologies for the language, but it seems fairly fitting. This time, you would expect it to be Jin, maybe Mira at a push. The most laid-back member of the group, though, Han, was the one who interjected in the fight after this guy was using his power to summon a shark that can devour people, and he was going to attack the maid, who was apparently the manager of this kid who'd sort of been in the fight. And, it's not on. It's not on to, even if the members of the public or the managers and whatnot attack, you just got to let the officials deal with it. But this guy seems quite sadistic, and so Han got involved. Again, there was threats from officials, and the fight continued for a little bit. But, we saw another fight as well in the hotel room, and what is becoming apparent here is that this group, Nox, I think it's called, is dangerous. They are a cult. They are after, obviously this godlike power. And there's a lot more that's still going on there that we don't know about, but what it appears as though is that the commissioners, the people who run the God of High School competition, firstly, they are arranged by letters, very, very similar to Men in Black or, the James Bond sort of MI6 officials. And we saw a couple of them fight in the last episode, and it was a really good fight. We saw some really back and forth action, and at one point, you're kind of thinking, is someone going to die here? Are they not? In the end, we saw essentially what was a suicide bomb go off in the hotel, which probably killed innocent people. But again, there's a lot going on here that we've still yet to learn, and it's enticing us in more and more, with these sort of little clips and these little fight scenes and the little snippets of information that we've been getting. We heard in the last episode that they have the arm of Jin Mori's grandfather, who we'd seen in a little cutscene in the episode before, and he got struck down with that massive, godlike sword. At least we assume he did. He may have escaped. He may have lost his arm and escaped. We don't know. But the tournament continues, I presume, into this episode. I'm looking forward to it. The game has really been bumped up. And again, in the last episode, we got to see the perspective of a couple of other people who were in this tournament. And I felt really bad. You had one guy who had struggled with learning all his life, wants to help other people, had gone back to school, and had met a couple of other friends who he was able to help, and they'd made it to the tournament and faced off against Jin, Mira, and Han, in the first round. And I didn't really want any of them to lose, but in the end, someone had to, and unfortunately, it was this new group that we'd met. But it was really good character building, and that's something I've really enjoyed so far from this show, is the character building. So we're going to jump into this episode, but before we do, I want to say a big thank you to my Patreon super supporters: Frank Tremel, Karen Abel, Ace, Nick Walters, The 7 Deadly Sins, Damon Smallwood, Michael Y, IrishCal, and Richafa. So, without further ado, let's jump in and see what happens next. So, is this the kid who was in that fight? Got eaten by the shark. He seemed very relaxed. They're all called Park. Tire him out, maybe? Ooh, the chin. It's no good being a big guy if you've got a weak chin. Suspended. They all sleeping in the same bed. Oh, I thought they were in bed. I was like, what? I realized they're in the seats. Damn, I like the animation on that. Oh, I love that. He's behind you. Say, is it? So his grandfather must have been part of whatever group Park is in now. Oh. He sounds very determined right now. Oh. Uh-oh. The question is, did it kill him? I'm willing to bet it was just his arm that got ripped off. And he's still out there somewhere. Oh. Okay, he just wants to fight. I thought he was fanboying, but apparently he is, Ah. This is a very compromising position. Oh, wait. What? Hold on. Oh, they met as kids? That's who he learned it from. And that's why he wears the cub, the tiger. So, first memory of his dad dying, or dad's funeral. Second, his mum leaving. Third, meeting Mori's grandfather. Oh, what the hell? Dude! What are you doing? I love how these two just brush attempted murder off so easily. You know. Ooh, he's not happy. He is not happy whatsoever. So he's already had 6 months' pay suspended, and he's going to have to pay for the property damage. 9 months without pay. Is this going to be a running gag? Oh. That'll help him with his, yeah. I like there's still that internal competition between them. Oh. There's a traitor? The key that will bring down God. Hey, and that's where the photo came from. Jesus Christ, that gave me a scare. It was his birthday. Oh, see, and his friends came over and made sure he wasn't alone on his birthday. You see, his grandpa's message was true. It's important to have friends. He's a bit of a chef. Who gets the strawberry? See how far they've come in like 8 episodes. It's nice. Wonder if it's from his grandpa. Yeah, someone has his grandpa. Yeah, so as I thought, his grandpa is alive, minus an arm, though someone's taken him, and it's not going to have been Nox, because I get the feeling that, I mean, it could be Nox, depending on how we look at this whole, you know, you must find the key to bringing down God. If Mori is the key, which I don't know if that's what they were trying to insinuate during that little cutscene, or whether he was sort of an important part of finding the key. It could be well that Nox have taken his grandpa hostage, and they're now going to use him as leverage to get Mori to, you know, help them. Either like turn himself in, or, you know, aid Nox in finding the key if he's not the key. But there is something more going on here, and there's definitely more of a meaning to Mori than, you know, he's just a young kid who had an important grandpa who was really good at fighting, and he is good at fighting himself. You know, this is much bigger than that. And especially with, I mean, I guess this whole episode was about friendship, wasn't it? We saw the cutscene going back in time, showing the other Park, like the young Park, as a kid, having lost his dad and his mum leaving, and his grandfather, you know, obviously having been a good friend of Mori's grandfather, and them actually meeting as kids, though not really interacting. You know, it was again a message about friendship. You know, we learned that Mori's grandfather was good friends with the young Park's grandfather. And it was because of that, you know, he was able to teach him that fighting, or give him the book that contained the fighting style, which he's now using in the tournament today, which I thought was really nice. And I really thought it was nice, like, showing us 11 years on from Mori's grandfather leaving and saying that friends are the most important thing, you know, and him being left alone on his birthday. It was a really nice kind of roundabout thing where on his 17th birthday, when it looks like he's going to be alone and he's still reminiscing over his lost grandfather, his friends show up and, you know, bring him food, bring him a cake. They have a good day, you know, and he ends up happy. And, you know, again, it's that lesson that his grandfather said, friends are the most important thing. But again, things are heating up here. Nox. And I don't know if there's an official organization name for, you know, the group that Park Mujin is leading. You know, they are obviously commissioners, but the commissioners of the God of High School tournament. But I don't know if they've got... I know there's obviously the group called the Six. I don't know what to call them. Nox are the bad guys. Nox are the ones who were trying to find Mori's grandfather. They're trying to kill the commissioners, you know, and they're obviously a cult-like organization who are devoted to this religion, and are willing to kill people to enforce their views. Park is leading the way on the other side. And again, I guess there's a number of names you could call them, but I don't know if there's any official one name that we've had for them so far. And, you know, it appears both sides are getting ready to go to war. And with that, you know, the students are all kind of upping their game when it comes to, like, their fighting abilities. And I think one of the good things is that the internal competition between the three of them is driving them on as much as any external factor. You know, so when it comes down to some kind of a showdown with Nox, they're going to be ready, not just because they've been trying to fight other people and fight Nox, they've been trying to better themselves by wanting to beat each other, you know, being the best. So I think that's a really good it's a good way of showing motivation, you know, especially in a point where they're not fully aware of everything yet. But things are going to get interesting now they're at war. Now they are at war. So we'll see where things pick up. Not much on the fight scene in this episode in terms of the tournament. A few skipped over episodes. I'm presuming the next episode will probably feature some kind of fight involving, well, Mori and Mira, because Hannah's been suspended. And we'll see the progression go alongside this other story that's going on outside with Nox. But it's getting really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed the show so far, and it's getting deeper and more meaningful with each episode, but it's also getting more intense. So I'm enjoying it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, let me know in the comments. Be sure to give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you for the next episode.